All right, let's talk button locks. On the right here, I have two Kizers. On the left, I have two Civivis. These are actually very similar Kizers. They are both the Hic-Cup, but in different variants. First of all, shout out to Jake from Ohio State for always commenting, for being a subscriber on the channel, always commenting, and for bringing up some very good questions, which led me to making this video. So when I did an unboxing on these two and an initial first impressions, which I will link up here, and I highly suggest you watch that afterwards. They're both great knives, but they're a little bit different. When you're doing an unboxing, you sometimes don't pick up on the little things until afterwards while you're kind of handling it more, and then you realize these little things and you're like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time. And that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about what these two itself, there's a difference that I did not point out. And then we're going to talk about these two button locks and how they compare to some Civivis, which in my case here, I have the Conspirator and the Altus, which the Altus just literally rockets out for a button lock. Pretty crazy. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's talk about these two, because there was something I did not mention because I didn't notice until afterwards. We have the front flipper variation and the, just normal flipper tab. Now, if you look at it from the side, let me move these over. If we look at these from the side, where you're going to notice, hopefully you can see it on screen because I can see it in person. The button on this one, the flipper version, the back flipper, whatever you want to call it, protrudes a lot further even when the blade is closed. You see that? I'm going to kind of turn them both little by little just so you can see the perspective. Clearly, it's sticking out more. Yeah, you could see it. So why? I'm not sure. This one, having no flipper, well, it has a front flipper, I should say, it allows you to choke up more. So I do see why it would be recessed more, because you can choke up more. Where this one, having that flipper tab, you're kind of behind the button at all times. Now, just because you're behind, it doesn't mean it should protrude more. There's absolutely no reason. What I'm trying to say is, like, it might be a design manufacturer thing. I don't know. But regardless of the opening mechanism, I don't know why there would be a change unless it has something to do with the way it locks up. I would think they would use this same exact button system, the button lock system. But obviously, I would prefer it to be flatter like this. It's even more noticeable upon deploying the blade. So let's open them and now take a look how far that comes out. That's actually pretty crazy. It comes out a lot. Again, I'm going to kind of just twist back and forth a bit in case they're both not perfectly even, so you can see them from different angles. We'll even do a little bit of this just so you guys can easily see no matter what I'm doing, what angle. It's very clear that this version, the button comes out so much more. And like I said, when you're holding this one, if you're holding it in this like weird, I don't know, I say weird, but I did mention this. If you're holding it like this and you have longer fingers, this finger does want to kind of go on it and disengage it. Like right there, disengage it for a second. If you're holding it like this, I know Hector, shout out to Hector as well, always leaving comments on my videos, so I appreciate that. He asked if you can disengage it with the first knuckle. If I'm choking up here, I can't disengage it with anything really, because it's kind of sitting right here where there's no knuckle. This knuckle ain't doing it. Even like this, it's kind of in the meat. If I did this, but I'm literally forcing myself to place it there. I don't see myself holding it like this. It would either be full blown like that, like this, maybe like, you know, I guess it depends on your hand size. But the point is, the button on the Rich Light version with the flipper tab is much larger. It just protrudes a lot further, as you can see, than the micarta version. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up that Jake from Ohio State wanted to ask was the detent, or the so-called, whatever the right word is, I don't even know, but whatever the functionality of the button lock, how it acts as a detent. So what I did notice afterwards is the detent is softer on this guy, the front flipper, which I guess makes sense because it is a front flipper, and if it is too hard, remember, this is not a front flipper. For example, let me pull over the McKenna. See how big that is? Now this has a soft detent, but if it had a hard detent, it would still be fine because you have something to really leverage and push into. Where this one, it's less of a push into and more of a like roll, pull down. So if it was too hard, I could see how this would be easy to fail, because you would just go like this and be like, oh, I can't, you know, because yes, there's traction, there's jimping all the way across. But just, if you think about it, if it was too hard, you wouldn't be able to get it because you don't have a huge tab to push. You're actually using the pressure downward as you move across to do that. So with that being said, here's the detent. I'm going to slowly close it, and you're going to be able, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to both see and hear the difference. This one does not, it acts more like a regular detent versus this one, although they are still both stronger than the Conspirator. You see, it's kind of like a soft thud versus this guy. It's a lot harder. Ready? Watch. One more time. You see? So even pulling it, this one, less force. And this guy over here, yeah, takes more. Now, compare that to the Conspirator. First, we'll just look at the detent. Super, super soft on the Conspirator. It's very soft. Has a little bit of that as well, but it's just very soft. Like, I could pull it, look at that, I could pull it all the way to here if I really want, and then it loosens up. Going back in, you know, a softer thud. For example, I could do this with the Conspirator without too much effort. Not a ton of effort. I cannot do this with even the lighter version of this. I'm putting a lot of force there, for reference. That's not a lot of force. Putting less. This won't come out. This will not come out, whatever I do, unless I really try hard. Like I said, this is even stronger. And again, for reference, if I do very, very slow, ready? That you could fail it. This guy, it's not really easy to fail. Let's try, ready? Nope, see? That's what I meant. This detent is strong. It acts more like a non-button lock. So if you're looking for a button lock flipper that acts more like a solid flipper, that opens up whether you're light switching, push buttoning, and you could see just from me trying to slowly, ready? It'll still open. Where this guy, the Conspirator, if I go slow, see, I could easily fail it because the detent is softer. This one, on the other hand, for some reason, the Altus has a very strong detent. It is a thumb stud, it's a little bit different than these, and not to mention these have removable thumb studs. So, like I said earlier in the video, I will have that link that was up there, and I'll put it in the description as well. I go over installing the thumb studs, how they act and everything on them. Now this guy just rockets out. I have a first impressions unboxing, which I'll link up here for the, oh, what the hell is this? Oh, Altus. I already said it. Can't believe I forgot already. Yes, for the Altus, which my first impressions, I wasn't too crazy about it for the price, but honestly, I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I haven't really used it, but I'm really starting to like it a little bit more, and I can see how it could be a great EDC knife because the button lock, the action, and the blade steel being Nitro V, overall, you know, it was a little bit more pricey than I expected, but I think it does fit the bill. If you're looking for a decent button lock with a thumb stud, you know, won't take up too much room in the pocket, this guy's pretty sweet. Now, one more thing we got to talk about when it comes to button locks is how far these come out, right? I already spoke about that. I'm saving this for the end. So one last thing. You see that? Take a good look. Maybe I'll take a screenshot and leave it on the left-hand side so you guys can compare it to these two. I'll bring these to the right-hand side. Do you see that? Do you see how recessed those buttons are? That's how button locks should be. I'm not sure why Kizer had to go so crazy to push them out, especially that rich light version where the silver one is just, I don't even know what to say. It's in like another universe at this point. It's crazy. I have no problem accessing this button lock whatsoever, nor do I have any problem accessing this one. I don't have a problem with these two Kizers either, But the point is, you don't need the button lock to come out that far past. Now, yes, they have some recessed here. Well, so does this one. And it still sits kind of flat with the body. This ain't flat. This is coming out no matter which way you look at it, you see? Now open, you already know how bad this one is. I didn't compare it open yet, but let's see. Open, like I said, this guy's in another universe. Look at that. Barely any more. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, get the so-called detent lock-up force whatever of Kizer and mix it with the low profile button of a Civivi, and then you might have the perfect button lock knife. So that's just my little take and explaining the comparison just from the few Kizer button locks I have and these two Civivis that I have. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to drop a comment, give it a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more upcoming knife videos, unboxing, reviews, knife giveaways, which I have not right in front of me, but I got the TI Kizer Sheepdog that I'll be giving away as we go over 1,000 subscribers. So again, if you enjoyed it, drop a comment. Let me know your experience with Kizer knives, Civivi knives, button locks in general. Let's talk button locks, let's talk knives, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks a lot.